certainly good attributes.
Is there a position this spring that you're kind of looking at critically and you think you need to see some growth? Because I know everybody starts at a little different place in spring.
Yeah, I think, our whole team, I worry about everything. It's just the nature of coaching, I guess. You worry about everything. But, on offense, the receiver position certainly is, we lost two really good players there with Devon and Jake. So, how the young player is going to come along, how they're going to develop, how they're going to push forward. I feel pretty good about, knowing what Matt Vandenberg, what he is and who he is, how he'll play. Then after that, I think, we have to ask some questions. I'd say the same thing about tight ends. Henry Krieger, Coble a guy who maybe wasn't flashy in his play, but he got selected for the Senior Bowl, went to the Combine, really had a good day yesterday. And, personally, I think he'll have a nice NFL career. I don't know if he'll be drafted or not drafted, but I think he's good enough to play. Just a really good football player, and that's kind of my overriding concern. We lost 21 seniors. Not all were starters, but what they did collectively, that's a big void to fill right there. So that's our first challenge. Forget about positions, but you move out 21 guys that really did things on a daily basis really well. Really modeled, I think, great behavior for our entire football team. So can we fill that void? And then, we have other guys rising up to fill that void. What about the void that's left, in wake of that? So, there are a lot of moving parts on a football team, and that's why I say it's a new year, new team for sure.
Center is such a critical position. What are your options there? What are you looking at? And I would imagine James Daniels is an option.
James is one option, but he won't practice,
right.
So, it takes that off the table. Steve's made a lot of progress. Steve Ferentz, made a big jump coming into camp last year, and then he had a wrist deal during the season that kind of impeded his progress a little bit. And we've moved Sean Welsh in there, and Sean will practice. And Sean's probably our most versatile lineman, and probably was, if you look at grades, probably graded out as well as anybody last year on the whole football team, not just in the offensive line. So, we'll try to make sure we have our bases covered, and like to come out of spring. We're not going to be able to look at James. We'll come out of spring knowing where Sean and Steve are. And then we'll just kind of go from there.